Chosen ones, you will never be in survival mode ever again in life. And this is the reason why. You will never be in survival mode again in life because, chosen ones, although we had a rough and hard knock life, we still never gave up on ourselves. We still never gave up on being stable and having stability and being able to thrive. See, the goal was to keep the chosen ones down, suppressed, counted out, and rig the game for us since the beginning, since we were born. And they wanted to do this and they wanted to keep us in survival mode and keep us in a low a low frequency state in our lives is because they knew that if we got out of survival mode and we were stable and we didn't have to worry about finances or being homeless or anything like that, or figuring out where our next meal is going to come from, they knew that we would be able to lead others into freedom and into stability. And this is why they didn't want us to, because they know that we aren't selfish nor are we hateful, and we always want to see others win. And they knew that we would help others rise from poverty and rise from situations where they couldn't survive or sustain on their own and by themselves. And this is why they wanted to keep us at a low frequency state and survival. And also, the reason why they wanted to keep us in survival mode is because our energy will be so much higher, our creativity will be so much higher. We will be creating so much high tech technology. We will be creating so many more solutions for not only us but for our communities, for our people. And we would be giving back to our communities and uplifting and helping our communities. We wouldn't just be selfish and just hold all the wealth for ourselves. We're not, chosen ones ain't selfish, and we know the environments that we came from, and we know that there's other chosen children that are coming up after us. And we know that it's not about us adults. It's about the generations that's coming up after us. And this is why they wanted to keep us suppressed, because they knew what we would do with the wealth. They knew what we would do with, power and authority. They knew that we wouldn't abuse it. They knew we would go against this evil and satanic and demonic world. And we would use our resources for good. We would invest in our communities and our people. And by us investing in our communities and our people, we're really investing in us, because we have been suppressed and put into harsh conditions, and we had to fight and claw to make our way out of it. And I'm here to tell you, chosen ones, that even when you were in survival mode and you were in that war zone, you was in a concrete jungle, you your mind was always free. Your mind was never trapped. Your mind was never closed off. You were always open minded. You were always doing your own research. You were always finding different ways to hustle, to grind. And you have finally found your glitch in the matrix to where you are able to be free. You are able to be stable. You are able to not have to worry about where you're going to lay your head, where your next meal is going to come from. How are you going to get from point A to point B? See, it was a lot of times where you didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but you kept your head held high. You never hated on nobody, and that's the biggest thing for us chosen ones. We've seen so many people in our lives do better than us, whether it be family members, friends, people who we knew in the hood that was doing good. You know, we never hated on nobody. We never hated on none of our friends, our peers, our coworkers, nobody. We celebrated everybody and we watched everybody come up. And now that we watched others come up, we learned from other people. We learned and we took certain skills, certain mindsets, certain knowledge from people, and we implemented it into our lives. And now we are going up and we glowing up. And that's the whole key to it. And that's why I say we'll never be in survival mode again, is because we took the time to learn and absorb knowledge and find our own niche in this life and find what we were good at. And by us finding what we were good at, it allowed us to be able to create a life of freedom. And this is what they didn't want. The system is designed for us to continue being rats in a rat race. They want us to continue to feed their big corporations and continue to be constantly in a fear state, in a low vibrational state of panic. They always want us in a state of panic, and it's simply because without us being in a state of panic and just acting out of survival mode, when you're in survival mode, you're just constantly like trying to do so much because you are afraid of certain poor outcomes happening for you. So when we're constantly acting out of a low vibrational state of panic and fear and just acting on impulse, we never really truly experience life. We never really truly be able to see the whole, different travel to different land masses. We're never truly able to take care of our health the right way. And we know that health is wealth, and that's the main thing. When you in survival mode, a lot of the times you're not really able to take care of yourself how you really are supposed to take care of yourself. So your health is in danger. Everything is in danger for you when you're in survival mode. But chosen ones, what you did is you stayed down till you came up. You found a way to create revenue for yourself in different ways. And now you are able to live a life of freedom, man. And it was not hard. I said it was not hard. It was very hard. And, you know, it was very hard to bet on yourself and very hard to continue to stay consistent and bet on you and know that you were going to win. It was hard because you had to sacrifice a lot. You had to sacrifice sleep. You had to sacrifice, you know, doing things that people your age were doing. You missed out on all the fun. You missed out on, all of the events that were going on and taking place around you, and you just strictly focused and locked in and created a better future for yourself because you knew deep down inside that if if you were going to be living in this world, you were going to be living like a king or a queen. See, chosen ones, we really know that we weren't we our souls remember we were never in bondage. Our souls remember that we were never enslaved. All we know is freedom. All we know is stability. All we know is living a life of freedom, living a life of abundance, living living and having wealth. Wealth is your health. Having great health, having a great mind and a great mindset. And by us really grinding and staying down and focusing on our lives, and even though we were late bloomers and late in a race to create a life for ourselves, we knew that, time, we didn't worry about the time. We just put in the work, and over time we continue to elevate our lives, and we continue to create a life that sustained us and that helped us get out of survival mode. So you took whatever tools you could, you learned from people, you took knowledge from people, and you